in order to keep up with the Scorpio marathon, we are going to investigate a little bit about a situation that a lot of Scorpios are let's say a challenging situation a lot of Scorpios have to face right now. And the question is, to what degree should you commit to it from a distance, or whether you should go into the situation and participate? And it's not necessarily anything wrong with neither of those, but there is a challenge out there, and you are being called out by lower entities. As we speak, again, we will have some fallouts. However, when we upload this read, hello Lakshmi. So when we upload this read, all the lagging will hopefully be gone. So when you do see this afterhand, it will still be a situation that you will have to face. You're being called out by someone, and they want something from you, and this is, I get that this is a group of entities. I'm not going to tell you that the reptilian Illuminati is after you because you got special gifts. I'm going to tell you that we are in the middle of a shift now, where you have to take upon yourself a possible task. Now, we do also say that go with the flow. Now, I have noticed with myself that I overthink this situation a little bit. And I think about it so much that it is nearly taking up all my space and my energy. And the question is that, as we have not done anything in this process to harm anyone, we have done what we think is the best for, we have to take care of ourselves, and also for us who have offspring, beautiful children, we also need to do what is best for our children. And in this situation, I find that there are many challenges that are occurring regarding to this situation. And as a Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising or Venus, wherever you have your Scorpio placement, you could have a Scorpio cluster or be a Scorpio cusp, or you could simply crosswatch. Whoever you are out there, you will have to face this situation. You will have to make a stand, because you are being invited into the halls of the dark. Now, it is an ancient system, just like the church and all these things. They have thousands of years, a root, ancient root, that we can calculate go thousands of years back. And it's being ruled by people. There are many names of these people, but let's just call them the negative ones. The negative ones who wants to control your well-being so they can basically feed off you like cattle. And many people are brainwashed today. They will claim that I'm the brainwashed one, but I'm staying away from cults. Staying away from, negative belief system, and thinking that we need to stay as focused and balanced as possible if we are going to get our gateway into the new world, where we have to have a positive vibe. Now, I don't think I will punish you for not going in. Invite yourself into, some of you could have gotten a direct invitation to become a member of a group. Some of you could got a direct invitation. By the way, no, we are not going to use the queer tarot for this specific read. We are going to use Viking cards so far. Okay, some of you could have been forced or gaslighted or cornered or getting so many issues and troubles that just like when the vaccine question came up, I was one of those who did not want the vaccine, but because of the circumstances, because of the living circumstances, specifically in Norway, I would have to choose between living outside in the snow or stay in Spain, stop traveling, see my daughter, and all these things. But I chose. There is a word for this when you're being forced to do something, or else you don't have to do it, but if you don't do it, you won't get any dinner today, you know, you have to go outside and live outside. I'm not going to force you to anything, you know, these kind of things. So I was forced to take at least, well, forced, I had to take 2 vaccines. In this situation, there is a conflict going on, and we're going to do the general conflict read and see generally what this is about. Like I said, you might be invited and you're not comfortable with a specific group. You might have to be involved in some kind of politics, or you could have done something in the past which no longer is of who you are today, and you will be forced to explain yourself, but not necessarily forced. But if you don't explain yourself, they will make their own story about the situation, and then from there punish you for not explaining yourself. Now, the situation could have been so severe that some of you could have obtained post-traumatic stress syndromes, depression, deep depressions, a negative lifestyle, so forth and so forth. And this too might be used against you. Now, if you specifically remember, there was this court case a couple of years ago against Depp and his ex-wife, where it comes out by a lot of proof that she was the actual villain, and she was a bully, and she was portrayed, and she was concluded as an evil person. Okay? But no one knows really anything about her upbringing. Nobody knows about sufferings or traumatic things that are hidden within her, about her soul path, about her soul contracts, or why she is here. So what happens? Well, the entire world decides that because she's a bully, we have the right to bully her, to make fun of her, to make short videos about her, and call her names that are related to poop, and so forth and so forth, and basically make her one of the most hated women in Hollywood. And if that isn't, you know, a punishment enough, people will laugh at individuals who suffer. Sometimes people are in fact innocent and try to do their best and are still. So the witch hunting to this very day is still going on, and there are people doing witchcraft all the time without even being aware of it because they haven't been informed properly about what witchcraft is about. It's about bending realities, a lot of form of ritual, and we gather together as a and shout out certain negative vibrations. Those things will create a new vibration, like throwing a small pebble into the water versus a large pebble into the water. What happens? Well, there are different waves, you know, we call it rings that will hit the shore of the water. If it becomes a large comet, okay, it will be a large impact. Now, we find ourselves so innocent, and we don't really want to own up to things that we do. We sometimes feel like, you know, I should have apologized. We do some regret, but I do experience that in this reality now that's in pretty much chaotic, that grown up people that bullied you, or you know, you used to being bullied in the kindergarten or in junior high or in, you know, baby high or even in high school, but I realized the bully is continuing when you go out as a 25-year-old out to work. If you don't look like someone, if you don't look like someone else, if you don't look like us, then you're not one of us. And sometimes you respond to that, sometimes you become angry, and sometimes you're not in that awareness that, like Christ said, turn the other cheek. I never really understood that construct before someone explained to me. Hi there, magic, infatigable, tireless girl. Trust me, I'm tired a lot. Thank you very much. So, and thank you, Lakshmi, for coming. So, I have found myself as an adult because of my childhood, because I was not the daughter of a professor and bankers, and you know, I used to draw fairies in my books while other people did their homework. When we came home, I, you know, procrastinated my homework and ended up being an expert in cartoons instead. And so I ran my own business from my room, and yet to this very day I'm considered to be different. And when I become angry or I do something which is considered to be wrong, it is easily taken out of context. And to this very day, 2 years ago, I took it up a lot. I raised questions about why is this bullying continuing? Why do grown up people harass other people? Because I might have said, you know, I don't want to have any connections to you. I feel you have a negative impact in my life. With the way you scream at me, with the way you talk to me with disrespect. Thank you. And therefore their ego will feel offended and they will attack you ruthlessly. And then same happened with other people, and I asked myself, why do I attract so many people who wants to harm me? And they harass me, they threaten me, and they are adults. People I have welcomed into my life, and they create stories, and they would pick up stories from other people who agree upon that Raven, she is evil because she wears black clothes, she has a pentagram, and they don't really have any clue about esoteric knowledge at all, about what is really the pentagram, who is Satan, who is Lucifer, who is Shiva, what is the difference between Satan, Lucifer, and Jesus. And the moment you give attention to these people and you feel lost, they would feel pleasure when, as they talk behind your back, as they would even make up fictional stories about, in one example, I was a prostitute a couple of years ago, according to some sources, because they were angry, they couldn't get to me. They couldn't pull me down. I stand my ground, and I still do. Now, there are more than one thing in this world that I've been called out to be the spokesperson, perhaps, and that includes people like the ex-spouse of Johnny Depp. She's done many, many bad things or negative things. But if you continue to bully her, in what way does that make you any better? And we you know, if you have cancer or other illnesses or sicknesses, then you have the right to get all sorts of help in the world. But if you have a psychological illness, you feel depressed, you feel lonely, you feel left out, you don't want to live anymore, you call for help, you're being prosecuted. In the country of Norway, where everyone's, you know, if you're a criminal, they will send you to a luxury hotel. Those rooms there are far better than the room I live in now, which I've paid $100 to live in for a couple of weeks. I think it's a good room, but there is no TV here, there is nothing, and I pay for it. These criminals, they live, and trust me, there is nothing here for me to wander around and feel my freedom. These people live on beautiful islands, they slack down outside, they run around freely with knives to cook food, and they live in luxury places, and they get all the treatment in the world, they even get free education. But if you are depressed or of people not treating you well, and still you stand your ground, if you say these things out loudly, then people will say that stop whining and be such a victim. Well, if I told you I have third stage of cancer, but I didn't want to mention it because I don't want you to feel bad about it, or, you know, my cousin, she would have this kind of cancer, and she got all the attention you can imagine. She had so many people loving her. She would have her own group, and they would raise 1 million crowns, which is about 100,000 euros, to this woman. And she was a very simple person. You know, she would be likable in so many ways, but I would also consider her to be very rude in certain occasions, you know. The way she treated children, she loved her children, but she didn't really feed them very well. She was a simple-minded person, but she was loved by many people. She lived by the norm that was expected of her. She didn't separate herself from other people. She had a regular, normal intellect. And as soon as you separate yourself from this norm, they still prosecute people. You know, if you show some specific talents, if you show to manifest reality, or you have a special gift, if you reject people, if you do mistakes, there are people out there who are attached to lower vibrational entities or are influenced by lower vibrations, which are, by the way, broadcasted by radio signals, by, they are hidden within all kinds of signals that they broadcast all over the world, and some of these signals, these frequencies, actually are sentient or have an awareness, and they want to attach themselves to you, and simply because of the brainwashing you've been grown up in. Hey there, Jazz. Or simply because of you grow up into becoming something unique, something beautiful, but still you have to look 1,000,000 times in the mirror and fix your hair a little bit, and then people will say, oh, you're a narcissist. But in reality, many of us have a small trait of body dysmorphia. We don't think we are that beautiful, as many people would say, who are benevolent. Now, many people who you will consider to be your friends or benevolence, they might, out of the blue, create you as an enemy because you distance yourself, you go into hermit mode, you close yourself out from the world. It is to create some kind of cocoon. About hermits, right? To protect yourself and to try. This is alchemy. This is the hermit in the tarot cards. Really, it's pictured as this old man. And when you find this, you should actually put them back in the sea, because the small cancerians, they actually reuse these houses. I didn't know that. Now they use plastic that they find that we have thrown into the ocean. Now, when you show benevolent things or benevolent acts, like I just told you now that I am concerned about the ocean and things like this, these things are not important. If someone have decided that you are an evil person and you deserve to be burned like a witch, this is your chance to remain as stoic as possible. And the question is, how far deep are you willing to go into the rabbit hole? To speak world, or in a court case, you will have one that is speaking for you and another one that will speak against you, gaslight you, and in reality, do you really deserve this devil's advocate that have sucked up every negative deed that you have done in your life, and now you have to stand, is it prosecuted, or sit there and be a receiver of all these negative energies? They will try to provoke you, they will try to provoke anger in you. Luckily, you're not in a situation where you're not necessarily forced to sit there. But when you are in a situation there, you need to know that the court system itself are ruled by the same people who are connected to this. Okay, so not many of you know what the Goetia is. It is a complicated system, but everything that has to do with civilization, squares, certain kinds of rules, all this is connected to the planet El or Baal. The color is black, which is why we wear black, and which is why people from Islam would worship this black cube. You see Hebrews worshiping the black cube, and unknowingly we would consider, unknowingly doing these things, but we would consider Saturn as being a maleficent planet. I would is a magnificent planet because it's our teacher, and black is not evil. But people can be negative, situations can be negative. We consume foods and products that are negative, and we consume also information on social media and through newspapers and so forth and so forth. Sexy Morticia. That's cool. She would hate it though if someone pranked her and she woke up blonde. She wouldn't like that. But thanks, Morticia. I like her. Anyway, yeah, so the truth is that personally with my investigations, the cube of Saturn is symbolized like this. This is how we trap souls, we trap energies. So within witchcraft, if you're going to work with let's say high magic or low magic or magic to the left or magic 2.5 high magic, I don't know. This is the Saturn of on top of the planet. You have the hexagon, which is those lines that goes around, and from the hexagon we can draw a two-dimensional cube, which is the symbol of the very matrix. So these people are relying on the matrix, they are relying on us to be at war against each other. So if you meet people and they basically declare war against you because you said this, you did this, you are not in love with me, and someone told me that you said this about me and I will never forgive you, that is their problem. They will be sent to another plane. Now everyone is talking about it. Even there is a very famous monk who is now a lot on social media, a Shaolin monk. Even he now says that people who are within this negativity, who doesn't want to take care of themselves, who do things that the world is splitted, that we are in duality, that forget that we are one organism, will be sent to a place where they can continue that game. Because those who are under the laws of Saturn, which is enslaving your mind, your feelings, and also will try to enslave your soul, if you can stay in a high vibration and you do your best by relaxing and forgive your own mistakes and honor and know that there is no God outside of you. You have God inside of you, outside of you, everywhere is God. So what do they talk about having an idol? Well, this is a depiction, a symbol. It's a symbol, just like Krishna. He was an avatar of all those parallel universes. Because even in the Vedas, we acknowledge that there are parallel universes, there are multiple, endless versions of you right here, right now. There is no past, there is no future. And Lord Krishna, he will be an avatar of all this. Ram did not believe him and challenged him, of course. And Krishna would show him, because Ram is is creator in this universe and this universe and this universe and this universe. But Krishna is an avatar of all of those universes. And they say, now Jesus will come back, and also Antichrist will come back, Maitreya will come back. Don't hold your breath because there is only one time, it's now. So once I got this message that your ascension, when it's time for you to leave the world as you know it, it's not necessarily a physical death, but your reality will shift. it is the same thing that happens in puberty. You will not know when your boob starts growing, or you start getting hairy chest or hairy armpits or hair whatever, or you will start bleeding, or stuff coming out of body parts. These things are natural occurrences that happen to all people, and it's inevitable for most of us. Either you like it or not, we see it. Many of us are proud, oh, I bleed, I'm now a woman. And I was one of those who, got my hairy armpit. I was like, no, not there also. Oh my God. I resisted that process. I didn't want to become an adult, although adults seem to have more fun than children. I take that back. Children have more love, more fun. They are being attended to far more than grown-ups. And what worries me, also as a spokesman on behalf of all grown-ups out there, you are also children, and you deserve to be loved. But first you must love yourself. But people out there are not responsible for your happiness. At the same time, if we don't attend to each other. A girl in my daughter's class, she was rather big for Asia, because I remember her father, would be big like a giant, right? And we always like, hello, because our children are in the same grade, same class. So he always seemed like a happy-go-lucky kind of guy, really big, eating a lot of food and really tall. And his blonde girl, looked like a real shield maiden, a classmate of my little shield maiden girl. Excuse me a little bit. I don't think I can tell you this without crying. It is so difficult. But it was difficult for her. And for some reason, when we connect to other people, we will feel their pain, okay? So, one day, they told me that he had committed suicide. Okay? And I don't remember how I reacted to this, but horrible news, not necessarily for him, because dying is a wonderful thing, especially to people who are aware that we are God. But sadness is also beautiful. We get so much beautiful poetry. So, remember me when I'm gone. Remember my laughter. Remember this smile I gave you. You took it for granted. All those things we can write down. So I just have to think about puppies who fall off the chair with their ass bumped a little bit, or funny cats. Before I move on, I came to the school one day, and the girl would be there. And she seemed so normal, like nothing specific had happened. Okay. And then she started talking about Papa. I don't remember what she said. but it was something like, which was so enthusiastic. She was 10-year-old or something, yeah. And she would be like, when my daddy comes back, we will do this and this and this and this. And that moment, I wanted to hug her so hard. And that moment, my ex, father of my daughter, had decided that I do not deserve my own daughter because he was in love with a new woman. So he decided that this new woman is a far more better person than me. He was in love, right? She's from Chile, and he would just manipulate and just. I remember saying certain things, and I had no place to live because he had lost our house, and so he would take my girl away, and I tried my best to resist it. I found a new apartment. I took her back into the school. That's when I met this girl. And my girl, she would hold around me and say, Mama, please don't leave. Mama, please don't leave. Please don't leave. Please don't leave. But they would, in the long run, be able to manipulate her to meet me, and also think that I left because I didn't love her, but I made a deal with the commune that they would give me this amount to live for, and in return I will get an education, and since not sure about her future, I will build something for her that, if she comes within that crisis, either this is tarot card, this is just the beginning, but sharing out teaches when one day maybe it will be difficult for her to get a job. I have a job for her, just like my father runs his own business. But his brother committed suicide last year because he was not allowed to see his anymore. Just like another father commits suicide in Norway because he was not allowed to meet his children anymore. This is one of the things the great continent of Norway is super famous for. And now I've been told off for not being close to my daughter. As soon as I get close to my daughter, this woman will attack me and call me stuff like cunt. Even I welcomed her into our family. She influenced him in the matter that Raven is a horrible person. She's been maltreating her daughter, taking over everything, my daughter's confirmation, inviting people, doing everything above my head. And so it came to the point last year, about 1 year ago, where I didn't want to live anymore because my daughter didn't want to talk to me or meet me, or I have no very little connection with my own family. It's very rarely I hear from my own mother. So you find yourself in a world where you are not just unloved but prosecuted, and you ask yourself, why should I prove myself to these people? So in the last solution, I called this helpline and I said, please help me. I don't want to use this mood stabilizer anymore, and I feel the world is falling apart. I just came from India. I was full of red dots. The sweat would red. And I was so close. Multiple of times I tried, but my body is like the body of an elephant. And, since I was a child also, I tried to leave this world many times. But my body is so strong, and the will of God for me to hear and pass forward a specific message to people, or be the spokesperson. Or I asked God many times, what do you want from me? You know? And I wake up the next day from things that would have killed the normal person. And when I ask for help, the father of my child pulled me to court. And what kind of person pull you to court for not wanting to live anymore? Your brother just died. Now they have no education. They have never really achieved anything. The woman, she can't even drive a car. She's aggressive. She would attack. The intelligence is media, you know. This is just, has nothing to do with harassment. This is just an observation behalf of what they have done. What if I had succeeded? And he seems to enjoy this. Oh, the mother of my child almost succeeded in killing herself. Let's pull her to court. That makes the situation a little bit worse. I have now a very good lawyer. She's so free. First, to sit there and explain myself for all the harassment and things, horrible things they have said to me. Because as soon as I get close to their territory, and they see themselves as good people, because as long as we behave good towards the people who are in our blood, or we consider as family, and you are the enemy, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, it will be used against you. And we laugh, we have fun. When they have been stealing money from me, manipulating, all these things, they have fun doing that. What if I had succeeded and Willow was left with a woman like this, who would aggressively come up in my face, in my ear, and tell me I am not welcome in Willow's school, and sending out like hissing words, like an aggressive mixture of a wolf and a snake, and threatened me. And when I respond in a gentle, polite way, he would, my ex would call my mother and say, I attacked this woman. And she would wave with her arms and legs and say, she would scream in front of everyone, are you high? Are you stoned? Don't touch me, you disgusting woman. She wants to be like the good girls with white pearls who do their homework, but her mentality shows that she comes from a very low, lesser, she's not from a high quality family, let's put it that out. I know that the father is speaking a lot of stuff. According to my ex, in the beginning he would be very open about their use of certain specific things that we can smoke or drink and so forth and so forth, and almost be proud of it. And now they attack me for being, all sorts of things, actually, all sorts of things, that I maltreat my daughter, if I'm tired, that's awful, and so forth and so forth. And then I realized that I'm not the only one. Now, what do you tell your daughter when the mother is gone and the child one day sees this video? There will will be a part of me one day that might regret giving out this story to you. But when I go back and I look at this girl who had lost her father and talked like he was still there when my daddy is coming back from wherever he is. Because I don't know, probably they didn't know how to tell her. Maybe they told her, your papa is still here, he's in heaven and soon we'll go to heaven, you know. I don't know. But what kind of people bully someone based on what they have done in the far past? Lying, stealing, and then the Norwegian government and commune celebrate this couple as the ideal being for raising a child. So now you have small insight in my situation. I will timestamp that for those who have no interest in, you know, my life story. But it is the situation I am in. Should I go to court and start yelling and screaming and therefore emit a lot of negative vibration? And in that case, when you take things out of context, they would say, oh, see, that woman, Willow's mother, she's really aggressive, we don't like her. Must be true what these people said, that she's a horrible person who maltreats children and don't have a heart. None of these other people would cry or shed one single tear for this child who lost her father. Saved puppies from the street, or I also took care of many foreigners back in the day. But all they would do is to pull out those small moments when you lost your temper or did something bad, right? And that's duality. So those people who choose to live in that duality, you will have to go through a lot of suffering in your life, because what you put out there, that evil you put out there, it will be returned to you until you learn about compassion and forgiveness. So now we will see the general read for Scorpio, because you might be, so we are into, let's say, 50 minutes. I'll timestamp it. What is Scorpio? The connection was surprisingly good today. What is Scorpio up to now? Because myself, these people who are prosecuting me for not handling this world very well, they have Scorpios too. Capricorn moon. And when they go dark, this is where you get black mass rituals, you know, at the worst case. I don't think they do that, but I am worried about my child. I am worried because she's being raised by people who thrive on other people's misery, and that is not okay. So we are going to do the read for evolved Scorpio who have chosen to go the benevolent path, who have chosen forgiveness. I'm not going to do this read. I will exclude this read for these people, but we can take a look at their strategies and the possible outcome if you choose to go into that dark, because that dark is also surrounded by people usually of a very low vibration. You have all sorts of lawyers Like we have a mass murderer in Norway, he also deserves a lawyer, right? Someone to protect him, because we don't know his big role in the big picture, right? And we don't torture people in Norway. However, ironically, happens a lot all the time, unless your illness is visible as a stage 3 cancer. Then it's okay, then we feel sorry for you, then you have all the right in the world to get love and compassion and be hugged, you know. So, welcome to the country of hypocrisy. Yeah, I know, Lakshmi, these people are for real. And what shocks me the most is that they are not the only one I've encountered for the past few years in my travels, you know. And the worst part, it is mostly Norwegians who have been physically attacking me for reading the wrong scriptures or analyzing something in astrology, in something that was not into their liking. They would physically attack me. And even if I tried to apologize, they would still go back and talk about the negative things that we did while they were drunk, and I don't know what what influence I was under, you know, despite the pandemic. Physically attacked me. Also, I told you about this man who would just strip my camping where I lived, so I had no longer heat. I could no longer feed the last kitten that was still alive. He would take even the sleeping bag that was filled with cat poop, just to show a point, which completely made me lose faith in humanity and conclude that at least 90% people out there, they must be excluded from my life. Because if I take people in and I say something wrong, all of a sudden. Because people celebrate Maleficent in the movie, you know. We celebrate celebrities, basically. But we also judge them, you know, as good or as bad, or she's evil, she's bad, so they deserve, you know, many of the things that happened also to Michael Jackson being accused of certain things because they wanted him gone. We make more money off him when he's gone. I have enough psychic powers to just look into someone's eyes and say, no, he did not do any of those things. Okay, Scorpio, let's start with your read. So we are 54 minutes in, and I got my speech. I don't know where I get it from, why I bring it up, but it's important that when we attack someone, remember we not always know why they do what they do. It is making an assumption based on the cover of a book, or pulling things out of context. So Scorpio, here we have the Page of Swords, we have Justice, and we have Seven of Wands here. So interesting enough, I just spoke about the justice system, and here we have Tyr putting the big bad wolf into the cage, even though it cost him one arm. The Fenrir is the son of Loki. And someone here, I think this is you, Scorpio, you're taking a stand. You're taking a stand. But you also need to make a choice. So we are in this not seven of swords, two of swords energy. You know, should I go into the lion's den, which in this case is mutated, it's dark. You know, we like to think as a wolf, as something negative, but wolf is actually an extremely positive animal. Both are positive animal, but the male lion is someone who is slacking around, and he would kill the children of which is not his own. While he take concubines who do his bidding, and the wolf, they remain a couple for their entire life. You know? And they have children that they care for. The man is not running around to spread his seed. He's sticking to his girl, just like she stick to him. And when one die, the wolf will grieve. So the Stoics say, live your life like a wolf, not like a lion. Lions is lying there and let the concubines do the job, do the hunting. And if a concubine had some other children, which is not mine, I will kill them. Would you really then be a lion rather than a wolf? Wolf have proven to be full of benevolence. Are they scary? Have they any reason to trust humans? No, Norwegians, we kill them from helicopters. We exterminate them. And when the wolf couple grow old, the children will find them food and take care of them. So when they say a wolf in sheep's clothing, I'd be proud to be that wolf and not the sheep that follow. That because we have something encoded in us which is called the worship gene. We are programmed to worship something outside of us, forgetting that you yourself are in fact the source field, an extension of the source field. You are God. Every piece of you are God. But if we worship ourselves, then of course it will be easily misunderstood as narcissistic. But the thing is that we are all God. Everything is God. And we need to stop worshiping the artists. We can love them, we can be inspired by them, but don't worship anything that is outside of you. Because that is not the way, that is the matrix. Okay, so here you are, 7 of Wands. 7 of Wands, usually a lot of dramatic, but here you take this energy and turn it into your own, as you are the thunder god himself, Thor. So seeing things clear in this situation is clearly something that is a little bit, should I go into that cage? Are there angelic beings there? Or are there demonic entities there? You know, in human form, what is the most present there? You know, or is it like football? Who is the quicker one? Who you know, who's got the better lawyer will win? You know, we know about many cases where the bad guys win. In my situation, my daughter will be 18 next year, so if I don't go, what on earth is really the loss? You know, what on earth is really the loss? Because my stepfather is not done with his ass, and he's probably watching. Scorpio, right? We are being watched by my enemies. Now who is watching you, right? So here I see you in the past struggling to get out of analysis paralysis or fear. Fear paralyzes us. So A lot of sound we hear. We have a lot of triggers out there that are put in our programming system from childhood. That some treat the dog when the dog's been doing something good, you make clicker sounds. The good boy, they associate this sound with, oh, I've done good, treat is coming. The same psychology is actually working on humans. It's called neuro-linguistic programming, and it's being used on humans for I don't know how long, but officially they developed the construct of neuro-linguistic programming in the 70s, and they use it to sell you products or to make you believe the same thing I believe in. Right. Some are really good at it, some are really lousy at it. They don't know about how to seduce you, right? So, recent past here, victory, not, some kind of a loss. What did you lose? Well, was it something physical, like a computer, or a Visa card, or the keys? Did you lose your face? Or did you lose a battle in court? Or a big football battle that, we know Norway against China here a couple of weeks back. I know about that too. And honestly, I don't really care. But for those who are in there, it's a big deal, So there was a loss here. I have no clue. Because that's just the thing. If you want to go the golden path, you need to get used to physical items or things that are attached to this false reality. You need to accept when God or the universe or whatever you call it wants to take it away from you. Because you have no use for it where you're going. Right? Then there is this stuff. Let's get rid of everything and just sit under this tree and in my underwear. Sometimes removing yourself from everything can also be one excuse of I don't want any responsibility in my life. I want to live it as simple as possible, minimum responsibility. So we see an animal, we have this luxury meal, and we see an animal who is coming with a limp leg, who is hurt, who is hungry, and then we do what Jesus said, or Joshua, turning the cheek the other way, because that suffering is not my problem. One day you will be the one then that walk past someone with that limp leg, very, very hungry, looking at wealthy people eating, and they look at you like, oh, poor little thing, or with contempt, like, why do we even keep people like you in the society walk freely around and spread pestilence, This vicious kind of masquerade that some of these people carry. It is scary. And at the same time, I will tell you, do not be afraid, because you are the sun. And who's the sun? Joshua is literally the sun. His 12 disciples are the zodiac signs. His mother, the Virgin Mary, the star sign of Virgo. So basically the New Testament in the Bible, Abrahamic religion, that the first part is about the Anunnaki, is in my understanding, and the second part, the New Testament, about Isa and this thing, is astrological. And that was also founded by the ancient. At some point they decided, let's make up our mind that This is superstition, although we know so much. We have technology today about vibrations, etc., etc. And we know that each heavenly body have a pull on the planet. We know that, we are moving around the sun, and depending on its density, it will affect us. We know that the moon affects us, but the other planets, no, they don't affect us at all. At least in the general, among those people who consider themselves to be academic. So the outcome here is the star. So you have all opportunities here to speak your mind, but it is this, that you have a Bible of things that which is your shield, and that sword, that could quickly be a blame game kind of thing. You sting me, I'll sting you back. Why did you sting him? Well, he started. Then we are back in kindergarten. But then again, we do need the shield, said the shield maiden. And that shield is reflective, so it will reflect all evils. And this is why we carry the evil eye. Because so many eyes out there stare at you, and they want your blue eyes or your blonde hair. They wish they were as slim as you, or you look at them, you want their car, you want their fortune, you want their long black curly hair and dark brown eyes. We do look at each other with envy. And sometimes we are happy on behalf of our friends, but interestingly enough, most people, your so-called friends, if you do big success, they will not be happy on your behalf. You will invoke an ancient dragon that is hid within the root chakra of them. Why wasn't I the one that got all the attention? Because we want love, we want attention, like children, like babies, we want that love. And we think that it is hidden within someone else, not you. But you need to give that love for yourself. So yesterday I lost my temper, and I said, I'm sick of listening to this Jesus and Satan propaganda. You can't even separate the concert of Satan between Lucifer or Iron or the devil. You take it as one thing, and you don't even know that Satan and Saturn is the same thing, and it's really meaning Saturn. But I said it short. I was so tired of all this Christian propaganda, and then someone would say, don't listen to them, smart ass, something I would probably also said to the same person who reacted the same way. And I got even more furious. I'm not listening! I'm turning it off. And I am going to report this channel for using Dolores Cannon as clickbait. Not only do these people steal her material, but they steal other people's material. They twist it around. They would steal the material of a beautiful website called Magnetize Yourself that speaks about twin flame or soulmates, divine masculine versus divine feminine. She's called Infinity, and they would steal her material. Hi there, I'm Infinity. All of a sudden you heard the same material, but a male voice, Dolores Cannon in the front, with Christian propaganda on some of their videos. So yesterday, when I was in a really bad mood, my Scorpio trait come out there, and I wasn't able to keep my cool when someone said, don't listen then, and I would be like, I am not listening, I'm turning this off. And then I was like, Raven, What did you just do? You lost your temper. Fuck off, you, if you could. Stop doing this, you know. It's not cool to steal Dolores Cannon material, you know, and turn it into Christian propaganda. It's not cool because she was a hypnotherapist and her stuff was awesome, you know. And so the content was interesting because you're a light being, you're being watched, and so they would appeal to your ego, right? You are very special. You are an angelic being. You are among the chosen ones, and so the devils are watching you. But as long as you take the Lord Jesus, you know, this is external forces. You can't take the Lord Jesus powers and think that you are protected. You need to open up. Christ and Krishna is literally the same construct. It's about having compassion. And it means the anointed one. They would throw perfume at you as someone exalted. And there would be perfume in this crocodile fat, which they used as a binding supplement. And the word Krish, simply meaning dark, right? So there are so many people out there which have no knowledge within metaphysics who triggers this worship gene. As soon as we talk about Jesus, well, then this material must be good, and Satan, you know, what you do is Satan worship, and it somehow it triggers something in me. I was dragged around onto this extreme Jesus worship, Jehovah's Witnesses, all sorts of Maranatha, you know, people will speak in their tongue, and I thought they went crazy. What was my dad doing, by the way? Which created sort of a, and I would in return play death metal, Brazilian death metal for him when I turned 15. Here is your response to your Maranatha. So we haven't been much friends in this life. No, Scorpio. It's a typical Scorpio thing, isn't it, to respond a little bit. Just, this is not a sting, I'm not harming you, I'm just making a point here. This is what I had to listen to, and now you have to listen to this. Outside of you, someone are grieving. There is grief here. It is someone you know. The people you can consider who have declared themselves as their nemesis, they could be aggrieved at some point. And instead of grieving and putting things behind them, they would put themselves into a situation where, you know, in my situation, he's being ridiculed for not doing the proper, because it worked so well the first year and the second year, and he continues playing the same strategy, and it's not working so well anymore. So I don't know about you here, but someone are in grief. So here you are, 2 of coins, sharing your meal with someone. Usually it's about juggling, and I realized that the 2 of coins, which is usually symbolized with this 8, the sort of vertical, it's vertical, it's opposite of vertical. That's a horizontal, yes, it's horizontal. The horizontal 8. The horizontal 8, which is this energy I've showed you 1 million times before, It's also about managing how to balance the energies around you. You know, I lie down for a little bit some time ago because I felt drowsy. Then I realized that I'm neither too tired, neither too awake to what to do. I don't feel like doing this, feel like doing that. Clearly not too, you know, need more sun, need some activities, need some discipline, something in that direction. Before I knew that, okay, I'm out of alignment. So stand up, you know, here they balance the energy by meeting Raido, you know, this rune Raido. They're meeting each other halfway instead of, you know, I'm older than you, I'm bigger than you, I deserve a bigger piece of the meat or whatever you eat. It's a balanced energy. It's two people perhaps coming into some kind of resolution. Where it could be you, your higher self, and the ego perception of you coming in to a resolution of how to solve this case study here. I was just looking for my morning juice. I've been naughty and ordered soda pop for morning juice. Okay. So next card, 1 second. It is live, and we cannot chop up the videos. We have to live with uploading what we have. My favorite juice is yellow, sunny-like cherry, honey-like lime. Ooh, it is green tea, honey lemon. What do you know? No wonder. So, Knight of Coins here in your resistance. Okay. Someone here, you could be afraid of commitment, or you could be afraid that someone might reject a commitment that you give out. Here is my offer to you. And they don't want to work with you. If it's a love situation, it could be fair, you know. This situation reeks of the things that we spoke about, you know, this conflict where you have to, well, where Scorpio have to go down into the dark to defeat the Hydra. That is Hercules. We know that esoteric astrology is all about Hercules. Going digging deep, you know, into the darkest of the dark in order to defeat the Hydra. The only thing it can do, because if it chops the head of the Hydra, 2 or 3 other heads will pop up. So what they had to do, just like Thor, was the stories are very similar. They both had to lift the beast up. Now Thor, he had issues because he thought he was lifting a cat. The worm was turned into a cat by Loki, of course, because the Midgard's worm is also a child offspring of Loki, the Jotun, you know, the trickster. In this case, it's more Hercules, but he's fighting towards this monster, and he becomes the hero. He becomes the star. And in this case, has nothing to do with bearing water, but it happens in the water. And so when he frees the people from this monstrous being, they are free to come to the lake and drink clear water. But he has to defeat the monster first. So we have grief, we have an agreement, and we have, shall I not commit to them? Will they commit to my project, or will they not commit? So that is one of the questions here. The outcome here is when the Tower is in reverse, there is this aversion of course, when sudden things happen, and you know, many times I got the message, you have to pack your bags really quick and get the fuck out of here, you know, and hurry, hurry, hurry before and then the plane goes, and you have to suck that up, you know. Now the tower moment, you realize your beloved one is, you know, having a thing going on with someone else, or the money you expected at a specific point, they ain't coming. Many things. They say tower moments can be positive. Depends on your mentality. You have to have a pretty evolved mentality to agree to the fact that the tower moment is positive. Scorpio don't like changes, so it can also say that, you know, I'll procrastinate this moment. And Saturn is all about filling out paperworks. And certain people who are restless, who are ruled by Mars, for example, don't like or have time to fill out paperwork, you know, but we do demand a receipt, says Venus in Virgo. So let's see. However, the tower moment, it seems to have an impact in one way or another, because here I see you coming out with a brand new beginning. Things are going all right. Brand new beginning in life, which tells me that many of you Scorpios will go from being a low-evolved, self-righteous fucking stinger into something that benefits the totality of humanity, even though it is on a microscopic level. Think of how much a small virus, what kind of impact that virus can have on humanity in a negative manner, and something equally small that can fight that little virus. Sometimes just love or sonic technology. A little tiny nanobot you insert there. So point is that the changes you want for yourself in your life, they don't necessarily have to be big. In order for you over time to become something great, something awesome coming out of the situation. It's not necessarily so that, you know, in my situation, should I go or should I not? Should I stay or should I go? We also have something new and beautiful coming in here. I see you could get an offer in passion. Someone could, you know, this can be anything from sexual attraction to creativity to something new, a project. Let's do this together, right? Let's make something. I see for some of you here, you're fighting for something new and you have the sun behind you. Now the question is, will this individual here, a friend or could even be a foe, you're sharing a meal and you're having this discussion here. This person could be someone who are at grief right now. The tower moment, I don't understand why it is in reverse though. However, you will have your new beginning. Now, what did you not see coming in here? And this is a little sad, actually. It's something I miss, you know, being an apprentice. This is not a love read, by the way, so you can interpret it or however you say it in English as a love read. So you could have some issues with the things you are working with or the people you want to work with. It is connected to this guy. Maybe, you know, I'm not into the projects you want to work on. And yet, there is commitment here. There is a burden attached to it, but someone here feels there is someone coming in for you, wants to commit. Even, you know, if you, even though you are thinking now in romantical terminologies, this is loving yourself, this is feeling good about yourself, this is having a good alignment with God or the universe. And this Ten of Wands here is pure alchemy. Okay? It's very nice of you people to subscribe to my channel, but I also, and I really am grateful for that, but I also advise you to read the caption. So can any of you who keep asking me this question of giving you a free read, have you checked my previous content and have you read the caption of what this this live is about? Because if I'm going to do a Scorpio read, how will I be able to finish a Scorpio read if I kept being interrupted with people who have love problems? We are here today talking about pretty heavy things like suicide and people who are lost their loved ones and pretty heavy stuff. And people are coming in, not bothering to ask to be added to the list, just coming in, interrupting the read, and want to know if their boyfriend will call them back, you know? We agreed upon just ignore it. I don't want to be rude. But if you subscribe to the channel just so you can get free read and be like many other people who's been leeching and me and the moderator here, and I suggest you move yourself to another channel, because we do give out free reads. We do. But the things that we do on this channel, we give out valuable insight for people to evolve. And I appreciate it not to be interrupted by people's personal problems. I don't know if your problem, you know, if you are in a situation similar to this, still I cannot be interrupted constantly, because this is for all Scorpios on this planet. Not one specific person who consider themselves, you know, as more special. So let's just interrupt this read now and then, so to single out, so one person who consider themselves that your problem is more important than the general population of Scorpios here. So please, Lakshmi, stop me before I start like yesterday with the Jesus conversation there. That tipped me off, because I'm really tired of repeating myself. This is a Scorpio read. If you can't even bother to read the caption, once, twice, third time, I don't know how many who's been in here now just to get freebies and then take back their thumb if they don't get, you know. Usually these people are very kind when they get their fix, you know. So it seems to me our Supreme stopped me right there. It feels like my respond here. Like God just, okay, Molly, shut up. Don't keep your cool. Keep your cool. It was for those of you who see this afternoon, you don't see this long list of people who want freebies, you know. They want their freebies. They want the attention. Look at me, look at me. My problems are so awful. When you read my question, and they remind me, some of them remind me of those people you go down the street and they want to sell you some cheap crap and they have a special price. So it's pretty, because we've just been down the drain here and trying to go out of the drain in a good mood. I've literally been sitting here crying on behalf of people who are dead. And then people are coming in because they don't get attention from their lover. They get pissed off, as I say, you know. Read the caption, and I don't know how many times I've been repeating myself. So yeah, we are getting thrown out by to speak to the nation of Scorpios who are evolved and have. So you will come back when we actually, when the caption says free tarot spreads, free reads. And you're going to read this because obviously you know how to speak English, you know how to read. Oh, did it buffering? I didn't notice. You know? And it's really hard for me to look into your horrible situation when there are a million people around you who are dry energies, who want to be healed for free. Okay? So let the Scorpios, which I have promised, have this one. And if you want to book a read with me, you can get them all the way down to $5. If you can't afford that, your situation ain't that bad. If you cannot afford $5 for a small read, 5-10 minutes, I can give you a lot of answers. $20, I'll give you a fucking good read. How important is your situation? It's getting dramatic here. Your situation is not important than my situation, than Lakshmi's situation, or other people who are in this channel. If it is, you can afford $10, $20. Read the description on my page and you will see that this is a Scorpio read. Libra energy combined with Scorpio. And you will also evaluate if my site is important enough for me to give you advice. You probably can afford, if you can afford a phone, you probably have $10 too for me to answer your question. Do you get me? Do you understand what I say? Or do I have to repeat myself again and again and again and again? I think we should change the name to the Angry Tarot read. We are very emotional. So Scorpio, actually the end of this read, we will see if the connection allows us. I will dig a little bit deeper into the energies of people and advices for you to take. Okay? Yeah, I probably crossed some lines there, but you know, when you have a lot of mosquitoes around you, and you try to, yeah, sometimes you gotta although mosquitoes do have value, they are God's children, you gotta get like, stop, because they itch very much, and I do have a spray. we are only human in here. We are only human, and we are not having fun, we're not making fun of your problems. It's just that each individual person on this planet suffer. So if you don't think I'm worth as much as $5, there is the door. If you don't have the time to read the caption, there is the door. So we have Sagittarius coming in here. He wants to play. There could be some sexual energies involved here. And again, I warn Scorpios, many of you might need to use some, you know what I mean, Lakshmi? If you're being tempted into luring yourself around that corner and just out of the blue, you do the naughty thing. Hoo-ha! You need to run the country. There's a baby here, you know, and it's 7 of Cups, so he's too small to choose. But as he grows up, he will find his favorite cup. And some of you might actually, some of you will get a yes from this guy or man. So there is a little bit of love in here, and unless you're dealing, you know, some of you could be dealing with someone very young, and I see 2 people here for some of you. Someone wants to have fun and just shag around, and someone actually do want to commit. They could already be committed. If I take him away, then we wants to evolve. So again, some of you are dealing with, I also saw a Scorpio reading, 33 readings, so shout out to them. It was a very good read. As usual, I told about my cat. My ex. So, temptation here in reverse, I take that as you'll take your stand, right? So if you are a mosquito, please leave the chat for you. Either you listen to what I have to say, or please walk away. Everyone are feel free to, everyone here are free to crosswatch. Now, someone here, for some of you Scorpios, you were harmed in some kind of relationship here. There could have been a third party involved and you moved away from the situation. There is a mother figure here who still have a lot of love. Either you have a child with this person, but you know, I see you don't focus so much on fishing in some partner or Lakshmi here. If you are in desperate need to get some clarity on your situation, you could donate a minimum $5 for a short read, $10 for a good read, and get it. She's all about truth and accuracy. Thank you, Lakshmi. The live stream is for Scorpio read. You may sub to the channel and come back for a specific question when she does free read. Thank you. Thank you. That's a good one. I tried to copy paste everything you know, on my channel, but it turns out that it's a little bit difficult. My phone is 2 years old. It's Apple. It's got a small crack and it's full. The battery is full. So every time I write something, that's why I'm short in the description. Hashtag Scorpio read tarot, just simple like that. Not even. It would be nice with $5 for spending 10 to 15 minutes on your issues and all the rest of the people who are standing in line. Of course we have to laugh. We have been crying today, right? So please, let us cry too. So, Scorpio, what is it? What are you up against and what is the advice? Should you go in your situation, or should you just let you know, in my situation, let the lawyer do the job. In my situation, I actually played a video like this, blah, 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 1 hour, and I sent it to some department of how I found the situation. For 7 years, I haven't said anything. Now this year, the you know, the blue hair is breaking, the throat chakra is breaking, the blue is breaking, the truth has to come out. I wrote a long, Lakshmi, I wrote a long list about how frustrating it is to be interrupted all the time by this, basically a lot of leeches who can't bother even to ask about, add it to the list. But this attitude, you know, it will always be there. As long as we give out free reads, this attitude will be here for a long time. So until I get my fixed place and my equipment, we will have to endure mosquitoes, right? And so 90% of them are being ignored. But, you know, sometimes there's a maybe not the, okay. So sometimes we get that mosquito bite that really, and now you scratch like this, and you need all that tiger balm, and you're like, fuck the mosquitoes. So it's like walking into a rat trap, you know. You feel so good today, tra la 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 la, you know, and then there is a like ah. So at some point, number 1, number 2, number 3, you know, my situation is so horrible. Yeah, this read are for all Scorpios in the entire world. Shall I interrupt what I do here so we can focus on your specific problem for free? I hate to say it, Lakshmi, you are unique, because all over the world, Indians specific are known to be very cheap. I'm talking especially about men. There is only one Indian man I remember that, you know, I have so much love for this person before he left, because he knew that, okay, I have been sick, all money is gone. It's the only time I experienced, but Indians are reputation all over the world. I don't want to say anything because you are one of the exceptions. You work so much for me that I am in debt to you, right? But I see it. I lived in India for 3 years, and I see that dollar sign in the eye, and the worst ones are unfortunately from Kashmir, and some Rajasthan experienced it first. Ruler of Rajasthan, he tried to fool me. But I was already fooled by so many Indians at that point. Mostly it is those people who want to sell something. If you go into the village as a blonde person, they want to give you food and they don't ask you for anything. They just want a selfie. They want to, ooh, I know this blonde giant, you know. But Indians who work within some kind of business, they want to sell you something, they have such greed. And unfortunately, this is not coming from me. It's coming partially from experience, and it's coming partially from traveling or living there for 3 years, take or leave, right? Back and forward. And they would trick you by saying you can come here, stay here, or you only pay this, and after 2 months they would come with a bill looking like this, which is beyond a Norwegian wage, right? And they themselves will live in castles, So I also write about that in the pandemic, during the pandemic, how this Islam family would keep me as a milking cow. They themselves are living in castles, driving limos basically, and keeping me there as a hostage or a prisoner or something like that, so I wouldn't run away, right? And I knew for a long time something is not right here, and I got the answer when the bill came. So there is a channel here who speak about narcissistic, greedy Indians who need to tell you that my brother is an engineer or my daughter is a doctor and we have so much gold. Of course we find it in Europe, but in Norway it's opposite. We don't talk about it, but we show it in a very subtle way. But this business, this snake kind of greedy like business, like you don't find it in Norway, because you go into a shop, we already have high wages and the price is fixed. It's no negotiable, you know, unless it's from agent to agent. So this is one of the reasons when I sense that there is someone here, but I also see it unfortunately among other people too, and they're usually a little bit young. You know, like this woman the other day that I literally just had to flick her out. So this is also one reason some Indians would make me jump, because I have one Indian on my neck now. I'm not mentioning any names, I actually have a few. They are impossible to block. They want to have me around. Of my income and fame, you know, you get all the attention when you're a blonde thing in remote places in India where you're not being known so much. So that's why also it's getting to me a little bit. So that was a little bit off the grid. We should call it the lemon tea chat with Scorpios. Okay, so these people in general, what kind of relationship do you have with these people, right? What is it that you will gain from, what is it that you're going towards? That's actually what I'm asking. What are you walking towards, you know? So if you feel tempted going towards something, you shouldn't go towards it. If you feel tempted, I did talk about black mass. Why on earth do you speak Arabic? Oh, I get it. The style, the hijab. Interrupted again. Hindi tattoo. Okay, so I do get here. But I rest my case when I told you about Saturn. This is a mixture of Taurus. Taurus is a huge fan of Saturn in many ways. But Taurus, you know, they could be hard worker, but when they come home from work, they're slack. But this is none. I also get, you're not obligated to attend to this, because it is, like I told you, I gave you out a few hints when it comes to the court system. It's based on black magic. And when we write in cursive, it is an actual curse, right? When you write your word with big letters, it's in a subtle way saying that I'm dead. So I studied this for some time, but it goes so deep that you literally have to read the Oxford Dictionary and the Blacklaw's Dictionary for yourself. And if you want to learn how to decode the language, you will know that we speak in Babel, and we speak in poetry, therefore most contracts, if you know how to use this kind of logic versus magic, that was deciphered by a recent passed away guy named David. He deciphered this kind of energy, and he was recently shot 4 years ago. But we still have his technology. It's possible to learn it. Stuff in mail, and you will feel fear, because that's what they feed upon. They feed upon your fear. They will bully you. Bankers and people who are buying your debt, it should be illegal. You know, if I owe you money and your brother comes or someone you know tells me, you know, I purchased her debt and I'm allowed to demand 15 or 50% interest, says who? It says the law. Yeah, well, shoot with that. I took the letters eventually from people that came in my name, that I know that it was my ex that made those letters. I literally just returned them without opening them. You know, this is, I don't live here. You can't force me to open that letter. I haven't purchased anything from you. So I just return the headache. And literally there are videos that show you how to do this. So this question here, this video is literally, should I go off-grid or should I go into the lion's cage? Or should I go off-grid and just send in a small message with a bouncy ball on and with a message wrapped around? Oh, this is my statement, and here is my spokesperson and my daddy who's saved up money to burn your ass. To some people, you don't feel you have a choice. Now ask yourself the question, depending on the country you live in, what is the worst thing that can happen? In my case, I could have been in danger. The read. I don't know if you can hear me or see me, but I just finished the read on the camera, part 2, and we've been very effective about it. So I really should stop doing this. Step out of the river. Sorry, dude, but this is really annoying. So again, I will try to do whatever I can. I'm really stubborn. When I want to do a tarot read, I will do the tarot read. Part 2 will be uploaded separately. You will have the message from 2 angles. So you're all good. You will win. You will win. Even if you don't win, you will win, Scorpio. It's all good. Okay. So check the sequel upload. You will see the cool, awesome 1980 good night sun cards. The devil. And I'm sorry. I am sad because we've been kicked out all the time. I'm not allowed to speak my mind because I really say things as they are. Most of them anyway. Okay, we're going to quit it here. The fun, the story, all that shit, blah, 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 blah. So maybe I catch you later. Maybe we'll have a good signal. Maybe we are that lucky. And maybe I am that patient. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for the likes, subscribes, and so forth and so forth. And again,